Hello, hello. It has been a while. Can you hear me? I hope you can. Let me check. Is everything working? It has been a very long while since I've done this. Whew. Hey everyone. Hey Josimar. Thank you for the subscription. Mobas here, or Ahmed. How are you? How's everybody doing? I miss this. Let me put on back some music. As you can see, I changed some stuff, so now it's like, I don't know, a little bit more cozy, I hope. I played with some settings. Let me know if the music is too loud, if you can hear me well, because, you know, it's a new setup and I'm trying to adjust. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you. Life has been crazy. Life has been a mess. But I'm here. So today I took a day off from my work, so I could probably... I wanted to focus like the whole day on YouTube and to do like a very long stream and talk to everybody. So that's what's gonna be happening today. What else? Yeah, I guess I'll tell like along the lines once we're settled in what has been happening. Yeah, we're gonna dive into that if you want. If not, that's also fine. Starting today's stream at 2 p.m. Central European Summer Time, because I can. And I wanted to see maybe more people can join from other time zones, which usually can't because of the difference in time and because I usually stream like around 6 o'clock in the evening or like 7-ish. Yeah. Also, let me know if you hear my mic. It's in a new position. I have rearranged my desk yesterday, so I'm not sure how that's going. Yeah, I don't know. How have you been doing? Let me know. Let me close up some things before we start sharing my screen. Also, I have seen the request of like bigger font, zoom in on the code, and I have also did some changes there, so let me know if that's working for you. I hope it does, because otherwise I'll need to find something else, which is fine, but you know, it will be good if it worked like that. Let me know if that's working for you. So I honestly don't know where to start. It has been so long. As you can see, also my background changed. I have painted the wall, put up some pics. I have now this little planty here, this one there, and yeah. What do I talk about here? I have no idea. Sana is asking, is this beginner friendly project? Yep. We're kind of like adjusting our complexity here and there, but feel free to ask any questions. If something is unclear, I'm always happy to clarify, and it's not, I don't expect you to know much. You know, a knowledge of JavaScript would be nice, knowledge of CSS probably, HTML just like for the syntax, but it's not necessary to have that. You can just like code along with me and ask whatever is not clear, or if you have some specific questions, then shoot them, and yeah, welcome in. I also changed my banner on my channel saying that I'm your code along bestie, and I stand by that. Gonna be coding along together. Why does my mic keep on spinning? I have no idea what it's capturing there, but it should be right now. If at some point there is something weird with the sound, please let me know, because I don't see myself or know myself I do know myself. I don't see myself. No, I don't hear myself. That's what I want to say. Yeah, Mike, you need to stand. Wait a second. I'm sorry if that's gonna make a noise to you. There we go. Should be better now. There was a cable. Sona says, I know JavaScript, basic React, basic HTML and CSS, but not aware of Tailwind CSS. That's fine, me neither. Tailwind CSS did I do another project with it? Yeah, I did another project with Tailwind CSS, but this is the first one that I'm using it on stream. So we're figuring it all out. And that's kind of like the main goal of this whole project, is that, you know, you just code along, we figure things out. I also want to show you that even with experience, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to know everything. And like every day there is a new library, there is a new framework. So we're just learning how to figure out things, basically. I guess that's the main point. Hey, Jasmeet. Hello. How are you? All right. I wanted to say something else, but I don't remember. Oh, regarding Tailwind CSS. So I used to use most of the time Bootstrap. Like Bootstrap was my go-to framework or library. It's a library, right? And I think it's time for me to switch it up as well. At work, I've been using, what was that? UIKit, there was one. And then now we're using our kind of like home solution, our home library that colleagues created. And yeah, and I don't use much of anything else. So trying to use Tailwind CSS can be a nice challenge, and it's super highly customizable. So it's really about digging into their docs in order to understand what you can use and how you can use it, as well as your code editor, if you have like a good one or a modern one, then it's supposed to suggest you some tips about like classes. But you're gonna see what I mean. It's easier to show than to talk about it, I guess. Also, since I have not streamed for so long, I don't remember where we stopped. So we're gonna be trying to figure that out as well. Another important note, for this whole stream and probably for the next month of streams, the schedule. So I don't know yet like how stable my schedule is gonna be. But that's why I'm here, like, whoops, just a second. But that's why I'm here to kind of like figure things out. But what I wanted to say is that whenever we have a stream, I'm gonna do an hour of coding and then a break of 5 minutes, because your girl did a LASIK surgery and I need to put eye drops every hour. I did it a week ago, so recovery is going well. I have stopped doing like thousands of eye drops every day. Now I only need to do it every hour. And that's why we're gonna do a break. Plus, it's also good to have a break, right? So that was the sound that you heard, the tin 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 tin. That's my reminder to put eye drops, but I already put them before starting the stream, so we're good. Let me just turn it off for another hour. Where is it? There it is. And let's get to it. So. Sona says, please explain code while writing. Yep, that's what I'm gonna be doing. That's the code along. And if you have any questions during the code along, again, in the chat, pop the question. And we're gonna figure things out. I also don't know everything. I actually don't think there is anybody who knows everything. If you do meet somebody who tells you that they know everything, then run the other direction, because that is a scam. Anyway, enough of fun parts. Let me share my screen. There we go. So, as you can see, I expanded the screen. It's now much bigger. Should be more visible. What's what? I actually even forgot where my project is, so I had to change it. Not to change. I sometimes gonna say words that don't make sense, so bear with me. It's gonna take me a while to get back to it. Also, if you do not have the files, but you do want to code along right now, then in the description, in this video, there's like a description. Below it, there is a GitHub repository, so you can download the files. And if you're starting right now and you don't want to like look back at all the previous videos and you want to code along like from this point, then take the files that are in the code along folder, and that's where we're gonna continue from. Jasmine is asking, we're using a third-party API for the e-commerce data or some backend stuff. We are not doing backend stuff ourselves. We are using a third-party API, and the API is also in the description box below. There is so I have 3 links for you. I have the GitHub repository. I have the UI that we found in another stream. So we had another stream where we spoke, whoever was there, and decided to go for a specific design that we found in Behance. I think I'm pronouncing it right. And the API itself, which is the makeup API. And we're trying to do stuff. Hello, Glenn. Hello, hello, hello. Finally. Glad to see you here. So, 3 links in the description box if you want to check them out. I'm also going to be doing everything on screen, so you don't have to visit them yourself, but in case you want, it's there. Well, that's the terminal. We don't need it right now. Let's go to the stuff. Look at this. Okay, so I see now that the chat is hovering on top of the files, which is a little bit sucky. Let me just hide it. The chat is still going to be in the YouTube part, so that's absolutely alrighty to talk there. I don't know if you're watching it on the screen of the coding and if you need it. So let me know, is this font size is alright? I also changed the font family itself, and did I change the theme? I think I changed the theme, but I'm not sure. Anyway, I hope that works, and I hope you see it in different resolutions in like proper way, so it's not gonna strain your eye and you see it already. We got authentication. No, we don't get authentication. I'm gonna show you what we're gonna be doing, just like to refresh our mind. It's small. Well, let's try like this. Will that be fine? Looks okay. It could be a smidge bigger, but yeah. I need to do like I need to figure it out because on my screen it's gigantic. Maybe I should do smaller components there because, you know, scrolling all of this and all of this space, it's but okay, we'll figure it out. Or let me check something. What's better? Okay, what if I do it smaller but I do the font bigger? Is that still alright? Like this? I think this one is okay, right? Let me see. Could be bigger. I mean, it always could be bigger, I guess, right? But my mic keeps on turning. I don't know what's happening to it. It's not a stable place today. Looks good. Okay, so we can start, because otherwise it's pretty crappy if nobody can see the code. That works for me, don't know about others. Okay, So we have already 2 looks good. Everybody else looks better. Perfect. Nice. Finally, I found it. I found it. How to make it visible. Cool. So let's check what we're building. Yes, let's go. Cool. So I had some, how do you call them? Pin tabs. And let me show you what the design is. Can I make this one bigger? So our design that we found on Behance, which was made by Piotr Medycki, the link to his UI is also in the description box. So we know the designer who did that. Hey Kalyani, hey, long time. Happy to see you here. Are you doing from scratch? Because I'm seeing already written code here. Yes, this is part number 5 of the series, but I have not streamed in 2 months. So it's we're not building it from scratch. We did it before. There is a playlist, and if you go to my channel, there is a playlist for this specific project. If you want to start it from scratch, then I do it from the first part, but today we're going to be continuing from where we stopped. So the design. After a long search, we decided to go with something like this, with this kind of like color palette. So it has like a big hero header kind of banner here. And if I'm not mistaken, I think we already have that, apart from the picture. I think I promised you pictures and I didn't deliver, but it's not essential. Pictures and content can be added later. But we have kind of like splitted the things, and we have the main header, the button, and kind of like a space for the picture to go to. Then we have some products here, and we have like a card with a product. And we didn't do all the sections that the design has, because for us it felt a little bit repetitive. So the feeling of it is gonna be the same, but it might be slightly different, you know. We did this banner, and I did the footer as well. I remember that because it was a lot of copy pasting. This I also remember. And I'm not sure if I did this, but once I'm gonna run the project, we're gonna see. And the biggest part where we're at is doing the product search page, sort of. So I don't remember anything what we did before. I remember tiny pieces, but we're gonna figure it out and see where we go from there. Because, yeah. Oh, I think we also did this. Yeah, we did like a single product page, or attempted to do it. I don't think we necessarily did it. All right, let me bring it back to this wavy thing. I think our project, we call it Welly. And I think we even have a brand, brand link. Let's check what's the name of it. Welly, yeah. This is wavy and ours is Welly, which is fine, right? Sonu is asking, when you planning to start new project? Because I have not seen previous parts of this project. Well, this project has a long way to go, so I don't think I'm gonna start any new ones soon. But what I could suggest is that if you have the time and the desire, then you can try and go through the first parts of it, or just kind of like start with us. And we're not that far along. We're still quite in the beginning of it. So I think it's a good point to also jump on it. That's like my personal opinion. But I'll be happy to have you here either way. If my mic is gonna stop spinning, that would be great. Just a second. Again, if you don't hear me at some point, please let me know. Probably like my mic just turned away from me. I don't know why is it doing that, but maybe there's like some wind going on. Hello from Colombia. It's a little bit a weird thing to say, but okay. So, ooh, the mic is again turning. Try to keep an eye on it. Okay. So the first thing that we want to do is run the project. Let's go to our package JSON because I don't even remember how we run this project. We'll do on the mic. So where is it? npm start, or did we use yarn? Let's check. We have a package lock, so we probably did an npm. So let's go to, you see that it popped like I have like 3 months ago, my git blame. So it has been a while. I think the last time I streamed was August 17th, before all the madness happened. And I was taking a time off from work to treat my wrist. And that continued to 2 months. Because I don't know if you know, but there was Helga, there was Visa, there was Passport, there was an eye operation, there was everything. Anyway, npm start. We go to our terminal, wherever you have your project, cd to it, and welcome back. Thanks, Amber. Hi. And cd to the code along, or wherever you have the project, that's up to you. But if you're taking it from GitHub, then the code along, that's where you want to be. And so if you just got it from GitHub, you need to do an npm install to get all the packages that we have in the package JSON. And then you can do npm run start. And let's hope it runs. I'm gonna, yeah. Would you suggest Tailwind to a beginner or styled components? There were forms. There were many forms to fill in, and I have been in the puzzles and in the maze with those forms and faxes. That is true. So would you suggest Tailwind to a beginner or styled components? To a beginner, I would suggest to do CSS. I would suggest not to do any libraries or frameworks. I would suggest to just like try the vanilla way, the very basics, to understand how it works, how you target selectors, how you apply classes, what's the cascading style sheets, like, how do you call it? It's not the method, like the philosophy of it, or like how it works behind the scenes. And then if you have that knowledge, then it's really up to you. I think those are two different things, Tailwind and style components. Style components are written inside of the React component, as far as I know. So it's like a CSS in JS. And Tailwind CSS is more, as far as I know, just like applying classes to your components. So it's like it's a util-based library. Might be wrong saying that, but that's how it feels to me, and that's how I've been using it. So I think so. What is this Krakow? I don't even remember anymore what we did. Why did we do that? I think there was something with Tailwind CSS. Anyway, we did it for some reason. I'll revisit why we did that. So here is our welly with like some weird spacing. So what do we have? This is what we want to have. And this is what we actually have, which I think is pretty good, right? I don't think it's too bad. Like the spacing is a little bit off here and there, but my approach is usually to get like a rough sketch first and then come back and refine it with like paddings, make it more unified with the spacing. Once you have the content, like the spacing can be also looking differently. So not to jump ahead and then to overwrite our work, then you know, we're doing it like this. Yes, Krakow for NPM. Okay. See, I don't remember even that. I remember Tarek was telling us a lot about that, but nice, looks good, thanks. So we have, yeah, that's our very, very, very minimal banner. Then we have this thing. Oh, we did that. You see that there is like a gray background, and then there's white, and then this pink is in between with position absolute and relative, I think, or was it with like margins? If you want to revisit it, everything is in the code. Yeah, did this, added like an icon, and we have the footer. So do we have a product page? Yeah, we do. Let me open the inspector to see that we're good here. We're not. Create error. What happened in the error? Product undefined. Okay, that's probably has been from another place. So this is our product page, and our product page should look like, where was it? Was here? This one. Okay. So I think last time our biggest issue was me not understanding how to do several API calls. I remember that being very challenging and not understanding why I don't get it. And I think I get it now. But again, I might be wrong. I might not get it. It's a thing. This is a pretty good replication too. Nice. Thank you. I mean, it's a quite simple website, so there is not much that could go wrong, I guess. I hope. But, you know, still not done, so I might be jumping ahead of myself here. Hello, Muhammad. How are you? Okay. Let's start. I need to get used to this big font because it's a little bit weird. Hey, Arun. You're late? No, you're not late. We're just starting. So, and it's gonna take me a second to start. Also remember that every hour I'm gonna be taking a break for 5 minutes to have a break for my eyes, put like some eye drops, and then we continue. So heads up for that. And also you can use this break for whatever you want, like have a small walk, look outside the window, or anything that you can do. Can you turn on text wrap? How to do that? VS Code text wrap. Is there a thing, text wrap? Use eye drops. Why you can please explain it? Because I had a surgery and I need to do eye drops for a month. Place your settings in this file. So I'm lazy to read what it does, so I'm just gonna copy it and try it. Control plus and then search text wrap. You mean here? Oh, maybe I need to open the UI JSON. Here they are. And wrap. Word wrap. That's the diff editor. And on. Yeah, right? That's what you wanted. Okay, that actually makes a little bit more sense. Now this font doesn't stress me out because I can see things. Okay. Thanks for the suggestion. Also, shortcuts are a little bit tricky because I have a keyboard that is German keyboard because I live in Germany, but I use the British PC layout, as you can see here. So sometimes it doesn't work as I expect it to work, you know? Okay. Where were we? Let me close everything. And let's go and see which files we have so we kind of remember the structure that we have. That's a wrap. Yes, it is. Okay, closing. There's probably also a shortcut for that, but who am I? So our app, which is, I assume, the beginning of everything. Well, no, there is like the very beginning of everything is our index.js, where we're rendering our app to an element that is in our HTML page with an ID root. That's like a very, very basic setup that any React application has. And this is that's like the parent of all the parents, because in React we're using the definitions of parent, children, grandparent, or something like that, you know. So here we go. We have a simple router here, which has a route for a product ID, for the about page, search, and our general /route, which is our home. Control P and then type app. Yeah, I know that, but I don't want to use that. So if we look, here's the search. We don't have anything in the search, but you see here we indicate that it's our search. Then we go to the about, same thing happens. Our URL changes and our also content changes, which we don't have yet anything there, but you know, potential content. And we have our home. So this is equivalent to the slash. We have some errors here. Products undefined JSON. Okay, I'll figure it out later. It's not for now. And what else do we have? We have our product/ID page, which is these ones. If we go here, we have product and then we have the ID. And if you remember or if you know, then this colon ID means that it's extracted to a variable, which you can use later on in your product component. So let's go to our product component. I'm pressing the command, hover on this and clicking on this, and it's redirected me to the product page. So in the product, we have some custom hook that we're using, but we're gonna get back to it later. What do we have? We're checking that if we don't have a product, then we're gonna show a loader. Although we probably should change that to also check if we have errors. But yeah, let me close this. So we have our product title, which is this little bit here. Then we have all of this container. It's this one, because I see flex and our image goes here, and then here is all the text. Yes, here we have the image. These are all Tailwind CSS classes. Here as well, all of those. I don't remember why those comments are here, probably because I needed them, or maybe I want to put them still there. I don't know. We'll revisit that later as well. Yeah, the description. And then we wanted to do recommended products, right? Because we wanted to have here like 4 products that are recommended. If you're buying this one, then hey, maybe you're going to be interested in the next one. So that one I remember was messing it up and it was not working. So we're probably going to be visiting, we're going to be checking how that works today. I mentioned that we have a custom hook in React. It's called hooks. So, and it's not like a hook from React. Does that make sense? So React has their own hooks, which is like use state, use ref, use effects, use callback, use memo, tons of them. And then it also allows you to create your own hooks, which are custom, right? So that's what we did. The beauty of hooks is that inside of them, they're not just JavaScript files. Inside of those hooks, you can actually use all the reactivity of React. So the refreshing, the re-rendering, everything works and everything re-updates. So that's why the benefit of using hooks is that you don't need to do that in the component anymore. You can do that in an isolated place in a hook, which is just like a function, a JavaScript function. And you can also use it in different components, so you don't need to repeat yourself. And as you remember, we had this ID thing, the 1041, which is what we're extracting here from the use params. Use params is a hook from React Router DOM, which basically gives us all the parameters that our URL has. And this is basic ES6 deconstructing of whatever object the use params gives us. And he's saying, hey Dana, what VS Code theme is this? Let me check. Color theme. Synthwave 84 Blues. That's what it is. I know if you, there is another thing that you can turn on for this theme, and then this one is gonna be like neon. I really like the Synthwave 84 regular one, and the blue one is even nicer, in my opinion. But I don't know. So, as you can see, we extracted the ID, and we also created some state here, a very simple one, so we didn't need to use anything like sophisticated. No problem, Ehi. And this ID we wanted to use for, where did we use it? For our single product. If my explanations suck, I'm sorry, because I'm also trying to remember what we were doing here. So I'm using here a use callback, which I think I'm gonna regret right now. I don't know why I did that. Actually, the use callback and the use memo are still a little bit confusing to me. I'm not that familiar in using them. I think I understand the concept of using them, but you know, there is one thing of understanding the concept of using them and another thing in actually knowing where to use them and how they differ from other callbacks that React offers us. Not callbacks, hooks that React offers us. And I'm still in this point where I'm trying to figure it out. But yeah. ID, or let's look how this hook works. So the hook has a use effect, which means that whenever this component that is using the hook is loaded, it's gonna go to this use effect. And we're saying, hey, if we don't have any single product, get us a single product. And where do we get this? No single product. It's from our state. So initially our single product is null. Because what this does, it's basically creating a const single product equals null, right? But it like in a reactive way. So I'm gonna close this up for a second. Can I close this? No. So our use effect, we figured out that we're gonna do a get single product. And how use effect works is that it's a function, and then you need to also pass parameters where you want this thing to be checked again or fired, and you also need to pass it. Basically, there's a lot of like technicality going on there. Doesn't matter right now. Get single product. What are we doing? Use callback. As I said, I'm not sure about this one anymore. I think I used the use callback before because I was running into some issues, and for some reason I thought that this is going to be the solution to it, but it wasn't. So what we want to do is we're using Axios to query our database or our API. That's not query database. To call our API, that's what we're doing. Using Axios.get, and we're passing our URL, which basically is, let's recreate this URL. Hey Akarsh, how are you? So it's this base URL, then we have /id.json. So /id, let's do 40.json. And we should see something. There we go. That's the response that we're gonna be getting from our API. Based on the ID, we got an item. So we have a brand, we have a price, we have the image link, we have the description, and some other stuff. And that's what we're doing in this get single product. The get single product, we were doing response.data. .data is something that you need to do because of how Axios gives you the response from the API. So just know that it's there. Those things were explained in previous videos if you want to check those out. What else? Yeah, use callback. Let's get rid of it. I don't like it. I don't think it's needed here. What's happening now? The get single product function makes the dependencies of useEffect hook change on every render. To fix this, write in its own use code. Okay, so you're telling me I should do that. Okay, fine, I'll do that, no problem. I mean, if it works and if Visual Studio Code tells me that, then sometimes it's a little bit more intelligent than ourselves, so I'll accept that. That can happen. Okay, what we wanted to do after that. Good, what about you? I'm all right, thanks. What we wanted to do after that was to get the recommended products. So instead of, so kind of like the user interaction would have been to go to the page and then get the product as well as straight away the recommended product. Like we wouldn't wait for any interaction from the user. We wouldn't wait for like a click on a button or anything of that kind. So that's what we tried to do, but it didn't work because we ended up in a hell of like re-rendering, and that's really not what we wanted to achieve. So the mic is again turning around, having a party. Is it a proper way of getting data from APIs in ReactJS? I mean, big projects use it like in this way. What do you mean exactly? You mean the Axios.get or the chain or the use callback or what? What's your take on Next.js? Next.js is freaking awesome. If Glenn is still here, Glenn, tell us more about Next.js and how awesome it is. I have noticed that it's gaining a lot of popularity. There is one project that I did called Learn by Ear, and we did it fully in Next.js, and I quite enjoyed it. I think it's pretty awesome, and it gives you a lot of things out of the box. And I think if you're really using it for clients, then it can make a lot of sense. Plus, it gives you like the server-side rendering. So with React, the thing about React is that it's awesome for developers to work with, but when it comes to businesses, it lacks some of the functionalities that businesses need. Like it doesn't give you search engine optimization. It doesn't give you server-side rendering. It doesn't, like, it's really just like a cool way to render things, but you need a lot to add on top of it in order for that to be usable for businesses. Yeah, I'm just gonna repeat myself. Next.js is the bomb. There you go. And actually that's the reason why Learn by Ear was using Next.js, because we started doing that as just as a React project, and then figured, that was like around 2 years ago, and then figured like, oh damn, we actually want SEO. And then I was like, okay, then let's rewrite it in Next.js. It wasn't too hard. It had like, I think a couple of things that needed like a proper rewriting because of like the get initial props or something like that in Next.js that is very specific. But apart from that, pretty awesome. They just released Next.js 12 and it has a ton of new features. But what it's had for a very long time, which is a big benefit, is it has routing out of the box built in, has API built in. Yeah, that's true. So in Next.js, you would just need to do like the pages, right? And the pages is already going to be the routing of it. Next.js now has a Rust compiler, very fast. Oh, okay, cool. I saw that, but I didn't understand what it meant. Very fast, it's good. So yeah. So for example, if you would be with Next.js in this project, your page would be product, or no, it's going to be a folder product, and then in that one you're going to have a file, I think with square brackets ID, and that would represent this route, the equivalent of this. So that's pretty nice to use. Okay. There's also Gatsby. There's Gatsby and there's Next.js. I think they're quite different because Next.js is dynamic and Gatsby is static, as far as I know. But don't ask me much about that. Very fast, no forms. Yeah. The world is moving pretty slow over here with all the forms that we need to fill in. That's for sure. No form, no membership. Don't try to trick anybody here. So, use get products. Oh, where were we? Love to see a Next.js Tailwind CSS project from you soon. Yeah, that would be actually cool. But I don't know when we're gonna finish this one. I put a lot of expectations on this one, like Tailwind CSS, hooks from ReactJS, REST API, Axios. What else? We wanted to also use React State. And there was something else. Yeah, there was something like that. The complexity was growing, so I'm not really sure. But yeah, totally. If you have any ideas of which projects you want to see further, or designs, or anything specific that you like to code with, then absolutely let me know. I'm taking notes and like thinking about next projects because it's fun, right? It's fun to code along together. Yeah, Gatsby is rendered ahead of time, static. Yeah. Which also can bring like, so it really depends what your business needs, right? If you have like tons of pages which are static, then awesome. But if you don't need like products, then I think that's not ideal, depending on how you fetch the products, I guess. But that's for another time, I guess. It's not what we're doing now, and it can get very, very specific, right? It's not just like I don't know, green or red. So our top products, I think our top products were used in here, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, these are our top products. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to actually decouple those things, because I think if we have products and single product in one place, it's like you don't need them in one hook. I do love isolating things as much as possible and keeping them decoupled as much as possible, and I'm not sure why I didn't do it here. Probably because I just started and just like was just coding it, which happens. You don't always have time for refactoring, but I think it also it's not gonna take us much time if we are going to create a separate file and just import it wherever we need. So let's do that. Okay, how we're gonna do that? Let's create a new So let's rename this. Well, let me make this bigger. Do you see the names of the files? If you don't, I'll tell you that in the hooks, we have a file called useGetProducts. It's our only hook for now. And we can change it to use get product. I'm writing get in order like to say that we're getting their product. But we can also name it just use product. I think I like the get, but I just don't understand the use and get. But so you would say just remove the use. You do need to use the use because that's the naming convention for React custom hooks. So use get product is all right. Yes, change the imports for me wherever you deem right. And what we're gonna do, we're also going to create, let's do a duplication. Can we do that? No, okay. So let's do in the hooks, we're also gonna create a new file. Use get product. Get top products, right? Yes, use get top products.js. And I'm just gonna copy everything I have here to the second file. So now we have two identical hooks and we're gonna change them. Let's start with use get top products. So first we're gonna rename it use get top products. That was the export, and we also have the import, not the import, the declaration of the variable. We don't need our ID because it's the top products and it's just a list of the products. We don't need ID for them. We can remove the single product then. And our only call is going to be this one. Because get single product we don't need. Get recommended products we also don't need. Remove that. And we don't need this actually. And I think in here, so right now I'm just removing whatever we're not using. Let me remove that. Save it. Okay, so what do we end up having? We have our use get top product, which is our hook. The hook contains a tiny state here called products, set products. This is React syntax that you have your variable and a function to set the variable. I'm sorry. Or to set the state. Now remember that when I don't stream for very long, then my throat hurts much faster. We're only an hour in and my throat is dying. Okay. So we kept the get top products and we're doing a API call in them, setting the product, and then we're returning the product. So not then, we're just returning it, but because it's a hook, it's gonna update the value of the product and notify the component that, hey, there is a new thing in this products thing. So let's use this get top products hook in our homepage, because that's where we're doing that. So we have the top product. There you go. You see we have a use effect here. But instead of that, we could just put the use product, the get top products, we could actually put it in our use effect here. Shall we? I think we shall or not. Or maybe not. So this is like, you need to do whatever you prefer. Do you prefer to let the hook to do all the things that you want to do, or you prefer to be in control within the component when you want to call this function? Both work, and I think if you're using this function in different places and depending on the user interaction, this thing can change. For now, I don't see it happening on user interaction, just on page load, so I would keep it here. So I'm doing get top product, and then this we said we want to use in our top products component. So we remove the use effect, and the hook that we're going to be calling is use get top products. We change it and we don't need this thing. The only thing we really need is the product. So we don't need a use effect here anymore, or maybe we will, and I'm going to revert it. Use get top products returns us this thing, but we don't need it. And since it returns only one thing, why not just do it like this? Oops. Wasn't too smart to understand that. Visual Studio Code. So what do we have now? In our top products, I cannot find them. Okay, we have a little issue. But first, eye drops. I see you in 5 minutes. Hello, I'm back. Can you hear the music? No, you should hear it, right? Still figuring those things out. Okay. All right, so yeah, Gatsby is rendered ahead of time. We saw this. Sorry about that. How can we manage React structure for big projects like APIs components? I know that there are different opinions on that. I think the main challenge within managing bigger projects is their scalability, as well as the state and how you're storing it and where you're storing it. So it's really, it depends on the team. It depends how many people work on it. It depends how much data you're working with, what type of the project it is. I guess the best idea that you can do would be to go to GitHub, find projects that use ReactJS, and see and get an idea how they're using it, and see if it fits for your project. That's what I do. So yeah, it's always nice to see how other people are doing it, because you know, some people have other ideas and maybe have I don't know, some cool stuff that they're doing and things that we ourselves could have not thought of. So yeah. So these custom hooks are like helper functions, right? Yep, exactly. I view them more as kind of like functions where you extract logic out of the component and you store it in a separate file, but you don't lose the reactivity of React, because previously you were not able to do that. So if it would not have been in a component file where you have import of React and you have the React syntax, you weren't able to use state, and now you can. So I think that's pretty cool. And seriously, I didn't like React before. I was just a Vue girl. View, everything is Vue. But after the update, what was that, 16th version of React, when they introduced hooks, I gave it another try, and we're friends now until some other update comes up, and then we're gonna see. But yeah, it's pretty good. So we have some problems. It says no such file or directory open, use get products.js. Finally, after a long time. Sahin, hey, are you referring for me not streaming? Use get top product. Use get top product. Does anybody see what did I do wrong? Why doesn't recognize it? Yeah, browsing GitHub repos and seeing how other people are doing things is a great way to get an idea how people are solving various problems. Exactly, agree. It's kind of like a silent pair programming, which is not really, but you know. I think everybody has different ideas, and that's kind of like what I like about coding, that there is not one way that things can be done, and there are always new ways that people explore, or there is no one size fits all, and it's kind of like the beauty of it, which also means that we don't always know what are the possibilities, or I don't know. I guess you get my point. And I get your point. So what am I doing wrong here? Use get top product. Okay. Oh, it's probably referring to this one. Use get product, right? Yeah, use get product. Like this. Is that better? So object is not you. Why? So we did use get top products. We're getting this, and then wait, where was our top products? Here. Okay, I think it's referring to this one because we removed the object return. We returned just the products. There we go. Okay. Whew. It's always a mess with those renaming. That's why sometimes I really prefer just like create a new file and redoing it yourself. I wonder how long my voice is gonna hold me, because any ideas how to prolong your voice from being, I don't know the word in English for that, but I guess you know what I mean. This whole stream is a I guess you know what I mean. Okay, so we got our top product. Do they work? Yes. And you see we don't have an error anymore. Interesting. So before that, whenever we would load the page, we had an error, and now we don't. Let me move the mic closer. Maybe I don't need to like, oh, that's my alarm. Okay, in another hour. You see the mic? You don't see the mic? Okay. Lemon tea is pretty helpful, I believe. Yeah, who's gonna make that lemon tea? No, I'm joking. Need to go buy lemons for that. So, but yeah, I think like lemon, ginger, and honey, right? We could install a mechanical electronic voice synthesizer and you could type out what you want to say like Stephen Hawking did. Yeah, he's a cool dude. But actually part of why I like doing YouTube is that I don't need to type things. So it's kind of like I'm blocking myself. But yeah, that could be one idea. It's gonna be a lot of typing. Lol, yeah. So dun, 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 dun. Okay, I have my water here next to my keyboard, and that's dangerous. Do you hear me well? So if I'm not gonna like speak very loud, maybe that's gonna help me, I hope. Okay, use get top products. Now we got our top products, which are free. That's an amazing e-commerce. I think their revenue is gonna be very good, very promising. So then we go to use get product, which is going into one single product. And here's where we got some issues last time. And I actually think it was because of that. Okay, so we don't need the products because we don't have them anymore. We're doing a single product and get single product or set single product. And get top products can be removed because we don't need them here. I can hear you good. Good, awesome. And can you fill up the form for that? There needs to be a form to hear good. I don't know. Are you compliant? So. Hello everyone, long time no see. Yes, Abdul, very long time no see, but I'm back with already cracked voice. But see, like last time when I was streaming, how long I was streaming? I think for maybe a month, maybe a little bit longer, daily. Every like 2 hours, 3 hours. So my voice got used to it. Now it's like hello again. I need to train my voice. I don't remember what I wanted to do here. And my eye drops are still there. So we get use get products. It's not use get products. It's now use get product. It's a single one. And let's see when we go to product where we're using it. Yes, it's use get product. Okay. So we're using only a single product here so far. And we wanted to add the recommended here. So in order to avoid anything that might go wrong, as we know we can, let's create a separate hook for that. For that, what is that? I'm referring to this, to the get recommended stuff. And the product we can take from the component. So the hooks are not going to be communicating with each other. What do you think? I think you think it's good. Good. So save this. And we're gonna go to this page, this folder, and we're gonna create use get recommended products. So I absolutely don't mind the lengthy file names. I'd rather them be longer and descriptive than short and weird or not clear. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take everything that we have in use product and put it in the recommended, just paste it. And now we can change stuff. So we don't need the ID, we can remove that. Hey, Mr. Brown, welcome back, thank you. But what about the infinite loop? Yeah, the infinite loop, we still didn't uncomment things, so it's probably still, I don't know. I don't know, let's see. The infinite loop that is Mr. Brown is referring to is, it was happening here. What was happening basically is that we would fetch the product, so the single product, and then after that we would fetch another thing and update the single product as well. As you can see here, that didn't go well, like at all. So, but I didn't remove it because I remember we did like an if else here, which was something because of the API and whatever it had. Anyway, get single product, we don't need that. Sorry if that anyway was very loud. We're gonna create a new stuff here. So base URL, we probably need, use callback, don't know, use state. We'll, okay. Let's keep those, but I'll comment them now because we don't need it yet. Axios, most likely yes, not most likely, yes. Okay, base URL, we need that as well. And let's remove this. And what we're gonna be getting is so we're gonna expose the products that we will get, the recommended ones, but since it's within the hook, I think it's okay to call them just products, and then get products. You could also call them get recommended products, or no, sorry. So hook is called use get recommended products. That, yes, use get recommended products. Don't forget this. But what I was referring to is this one. Variables, we can still name them products. We don't need the recommended products. You could, but you don't have to. It's the same how we did it with the top products. We just named them products and not top products. It's kind of like the same way how you're, I don't know, calling things data. That's also very common. So I think in the context of the hook, it's kind of like clear what we're using it for. So it's all right. So we're in the use product. We don't need that. Here, use get recommended product. Okay, let's uncomment this whole thing. Or no, first let's create the product and get products. So we do const and it's gonna be an empty array. So let's uncomment this. We have our use state. Nice. Okay. Forget about that for a second. So we have our get recommended product. Uncommenting. Woohoo! So in order to get a recommended product, let's check our API for a second. So we will be sure that it's not me, it's the API. So in the API, makeup API, what did we have? We have only one endpoint. Only one, which is our base URL. Yeah. However, we can, there are examples. So if you're passing different parameters to your URL, then you can like get different things. So for example, wait. So we can search by brand, or we can search by product type. So for example, if you're searching for a lipstick, then, or if you're searching for an eyeshadow, maybe you also want to buy another eyeshadow. Or maybe you want to buy something from the same brand. And I think that's why we did it here. We checked if there is a product type, which is lipstick or eyeliner, then we're going to use this. So we're going to use product type as our recommendation criteria. But there were cases when we didn't have the product type and we chose to go with brand, because brand you always have. Otherwise, it's an even more successful e-commerce than I thought. So that's why this if-else exists. And then we have our Axios. So for now, let's just comment our Axios. We don't need it. But we have here our get stuff, right? And we want to get it only once we have a product. So since this is an isolated hook, isolated because I decided that it's an isolated hook, we're going to be using it only to get recommended products, nothing else. So we don't necessarily have to put all this functionality in its own function. We could just put it in the hook, actually. You don't have to keep it here. You see? Now it complains that we don't have the product because in the function we were passing a product. But we can also pass it to the hook. There we go. And that's how you do it. That's just the beginning. So a console log to here, just like to understand what's what. I usually like to put like the smaller names on top, so that's just like a preference. You don't have to do that. What else am I doing here? So we have the if product. I'm thinking if I can do it as like as a ternary operator or not. Yeah, I could, right? We could do, so these ones, they could move here. And if we take key, it can be if. So a ternary operator is basically an inline if-else statement, which usually it's okay to use it if you have if-else, but if you have more than just if and else, if you have if-else, else-if, else, then don't. It's just confusing and unreadable. So we're checking, does the product has a product type? If yes, then the key is gonna be product type. Else it's gonna be brand. So, and then it's gonna be a const because we don't need to reassign it. So you see this thing is the equivalent of this line as well as this line. And we're gonna do the same with the value. Hey, programming with JavaScript, what's API name using you? You mean this one? The makeup API? And this can be a const, right? And this way this should be gone. So I'm not sure if that's better or not, but I think it's all right. So we have our key and we have our value. Then where were we using it? We were using it here. It's uncommented. So we have a simple axios.get call to the base URL with parameters. So how do you make an API call? You see that here we have our base URL, which is this, which is what I have here, .json, right? I don't know actually why I didn't put it here as .json. Probably because I used it in the other hook differently. And then you write a question mark and you start adding URL params. So this is a URL param, brand, and this is the value of the URL param. You could continue doing it here. You could do a slash. And again, with the template literals and the $sign and curly brackets, you could write key, and then equals, whoops, no spaces, equals to value, right? But in Axios, you don't have to do that. It can do it for you. If you pass params and you pass them as a key and a value, then Axios is going to create the URL by itself, which is pretty neat, I think, especially if you have several of them. This is the key of the object, and this is the value of the object. And once we're gonna make the API call, we're gonna check it in the network tab and you're gonna see it. I need to go and get some water, so I'll be back in a second. I'm sorry that this is so hectic, but my throat is killing me. 2 minutes, I'm back. All right, I'm back. So I actually find a lemon and I have a tea now. So let's hope I'm good. This is something I didn't expect. So what were they? Hey, hello. How you doing? Okay, so what I was talking about was about key and value in the params, right? And right, so I said once we're gonna do the API call, then you're gonna see it, what I mean. And for now, come on, let's just console log the response, the data that we're getting. Right, and one too much. No, wait. So this and this. Yeah, it should be here. There we go. So our get products are still nothing. Well, that's okay. And now we need to use this hook. Right, I don't think we still did. We're gonna use it here. Really want to stay longer, but I gotta run. I'll watch the rest of this from the playlist later on. Be good, kick ass. Thanks, Glenn. Thank you so much for joining. It was good to see you once here, and it's probably very late. So I really appreciate you joining. Thank you. And have a good night. So I want to create a component for that. Let's just create like a very easy one. Recommended product. And we're gonna pass it the product that we're fetching from the get single product. Single product, sorry. And we need to create this component. And remember, we have like our structure, we have index.js, we have import, export from. Just Mars asking, how long have you been programming? 4 years? Yeah, so I started learning 4 years ago, I think. No, earlier. I think I started learning 5 years ago. And professionally, I'm coding a little bit over 3 years now. Dana, what projects are you doing? I've just arrived. So here we're doing a React project. We're building kind of like a clone of this one. The links are in the description if you want to check them more detailed. We're just basically building an e-commerce makeup shop. We're using an API, using ReactJS, using Tailwind CSS, and we're seeing where we're going with it. That's like as shortly as possible. And if you want to code along from the very beginning, there's a playlist, and I start there everything from scratch. But if not, you can get the files from GitHub. It's also in the links below, and code along with us now, or just watch. That's also fine. And ask questions, tell us about you, and you know, the regular stuff. Okay, what did I paste here? That was not the one I wanted. Recommended products. Yeah. So .js, and then we have React. So that's the basic structure. Now here I said, or I passed a product. Let me drink a little bit my tea so my throat calms down. Nice. First water. So what I want to do in this component is I want to use the hook that we created with the use get recommended products. I want to use it here, and in hope that I'm avoiding the re-rendering loop that we had in our last stream, the one that was 1,000 of years ago. So I don't know if it's gonna work, but that was kind of like one of the ideas why we were getting that loop, because we were in the same hook. We were so on load, we were fetching data, and then once it's fetched, we were saving it to the state, and we were listening to it, and then we were calling another function. And then we were calling another function, and that one was also updating the state, and then the first one would be triggered again, and you know, it was hell. So I hope now I can avoid that. And for now, I'm just gonna silently do it to let my voice relax. You follow, check what I'm doing. If you have questions, ask. Typo, I love a typo. So in the use get recommended, we do return, but you don't have to return. We have a console log here, so for now, I'm not gonna return anything. You can just call it. And you don't have to pass it like this. You can just pass it as a first argument, and then don't forget to adjust it here. There we go. Do you still hear me if I whisper? Because maybe whispering is actually okay for my voice. This video is going to a weird direction. Did you just get disconnected? Is everybody back? Are we good? Okay. Let me know if you hear me well, if you see me well. I just heard like a beep. Okay, it tells me that string quality is excellent. Okay, then I continue. So, It looks like we're good with the recommended part. I get a sip of the tea with the lemon. Some slurping audio. So network. Remember I told you I wanted to show you how Axios is putting the params in the URL? Well, let me show you. There we go. Our URL that was just base URL.json and some object params became this one. You see we have the base URL.json and then we have product type eyeshadow, because this one is also an eyeshadow. Let's go to another one. Liquid liner. And let's see what we have here. Product type eyeliner. We're good. Okay. That's really nice, but why do we get it twice? We're probably getting it twice. So we have one call of the product. So where does it all start? All start in the product. We have our useGetProduct. We're doing an API call, which is this one that I'm referring to. And we get a single product. This single product is then being passed to our recommended product. Okay, do we have it here? Wait a second. Recommended products. As a product. So that's a prop that is being passed. This is the value of it, that's the name of it. Then if we go to recommended product, this is our prop product. And we're passing it to our useGetRecommendedProduct hook. Let's go here. And in here, so we don't need to console log the product anymore, I think. We're doing one time this API call, but for some reason it's firing twice. So I think that maybe it's been fired and we don't have it. But it's not possible because the product type is there. I'm still not sure why that happens twice. But oh well. So let's set it in our state. What do you think? That might also cause us an issue. So what I'm thinking is that white might cause us an issue because if we set something here, it's gonna set it, and this might trigger an update again. But let's see, I'm not sure. Sometimes it acts differently, sometimes it doesn't, so don't know. Let's see what happens. Yeah. So what happened now? Nothing? I think we're in a loop again. Yep, we got into a loop. Okay, let's put that. Put it in a function. Sorry, I need to do that for my throat. And let's put it as a use effect. And in here, we're going to call the get recommended products. Yeah, let's try. Let me do a console log to see how often this is being called. Once. Nice. Yeah. The network tab is also good. Awesome. So the issue is that if you keep it like freestyling, leaving in the hook, whenever you do a set, wait a second. No. Wait a second. I still didn't do the set. This is a set. This is not a get. This still might change everything for us. Wait a second. So. Nope, we're in the same. But if we do this. Yeah. Okay, nice. So, two things that we're missing. First, we let this be free-spirited in our hook. Didn't work. It re-renders things, re-updates them, and that just doesn't work. Then I didn't pass the empty array of dependencies, which means, hey, use effect or hey, React, call this function on your first load. And that's what we wanted to do. Because I think otherwise it's gonna act how it wants. So you need to be pretty specific in what you want to do with it. And now you see this console log, it happens only once. So I think we're kind of good in this because that was like a biggie last time. You can remove the use callback, save it. And now the products, we can return them. Here we are. And again, we don't need to do an object for that. We can just return product. Save it. I can remove the console log, I don't need it. A good thing would be to probably check that our product exists and not just breaks everything. So let's do if no product return an empty object, empty array. Okay, this thing needs to be called probably this needs to be inside of here. There we go. Although now we don't need to do that. No, because we're going to return products and products are already an empty array. So we're good. And now let's output. So we can clean up our other hooks. Save it. Double check the network tab that we don't have anything that is like okay. So let's go to our recommended products. And here we can do const products equals this, because we're going to be getting whatever this function is returning to us. And in here we can do a simple products.map to loop over them. So item, I wouldn't use product because we already have product in this context in here. And let's just let's see what it returns us. So to see what it returns, you can go to the networks tab, you can find the call. I know that it's this one because it's product type eyeliner. And then you can do a preview and you can see what you get. So we have an ID, we have a brand, we have a name. Let's just do item.name and we can put it like in a p tag. Item.name. There we go. And of course we should check if products.length equals 0, then return null, right? Because if we don't have recommended products or we didn't manage to fetch them, then the user doesn't need to know that there were no products. It's just like, we're just not gonna recommend you anything. you're just gonna get your eyeliner and that's it. Okay, so I think we did a quite good refactoring now with all those things. And yeah, this we still need to work on. We managed not to get our infinite loop finally. I hope it was clear why we were getting it and why we don't get it now. If it didn't, then let me know. If you're watching it being recorded, like after the stream, then also drop a comment. So in the next stream, I can explain it better. And while I did want to stream for very long, I think that my throat is not handling that. And I think I'm gonna end the stream on this successful note of getting the hooks, getting the products that we wanted. I might go, shall we go tomorrow also on stream? Or should we do it Sunday? Let's do it on Sunday. Like Sunday evening-ish. I'll drop a comment or in the community tab on my YouTube channel where you can see when I'm gonna stream, or on Instagram. That's where I usually say what's what. So what are we gonna be doing next? We need to we need to design the get recommended products. So we need to do it like this. We will be using the card. And once we have those, I think it will be safe for us to move. Okay, maybe we can make also those. But once we have that, it can be safe for us to move to this big page of the search of all the products. What do you say? I think it's gonna be cool. As always, I'm gonna push all the updates that we did today to the GitHub repository that you can find in the link below. And yeah, I'm gonna go fix my throat, and I hope that for Sunday, I still don't know when, but let's say it's gonna be around 4 or 5 summer, Central European summertime. It's actually not gonna be summertime anymore. We're changing the clocks. It's gonna be Central European time, I think. Supposed to be also Halloween, right? We don't celebrate it here, or at least I don't. So, anyway, gonna go fix my throat. And I hope that you're gonna have an enjoyable Friday evening, day, morning, wherever you are. As always, I'm gonna wish you to stay safe wherever you are. I'm trying to remember my my closing line, but I can't remember. Anyway, thanks for joining. Thanks for doing this with me. And I'm gonna see you in 2 days. Bye-bye.